Hello, good evening, and welcome to the FB4 Daily. It is Tuesday night, and Liverpool Football Club have done a big mad U-turn, and decided to keep paying their staff and not go down the Furlough route. With me tonight, I'll have Paddy Lawson and I will have Keith Plunkett, and we will discuss this along with all the other random madness that comes with this show. The random stuff is extremely important because, look, there's no football to talk about, so whatever random stuff you have, throw it in there. I will remind you as the show goes on, though. Here we go. And here we go. This show, of course, is brought to you by Paddy Power. I forgot that bit in the intro. Fucking hate when I do that. A bookie's a website and an app. If you gamble, please gamble responsibly. And remember to do so with Paddy Power. On with the show. Keith and Paddy are with me. And look, there's been a lot of controversy over the last couple of days with regards to Liverpool Football Club. What's been going on. If you call a furlough or if you call a furlough, it's absolutely fine. Whatever way you want to call it, we're cool with that. Nobody knows what it is anyway. So, you know what I mean? People walking around shouting furlough at random just to make themselves look impressive. But Keith, I'm going to come to you first. There has been a lot of controversy over it. Liverpool released a statement with regards to what they were going to do. Apparently, they weren't going to release it till probably sometime this week, later on this week, until another club kind of leaked it and they were forced to put out the statement. I was on a show, the Football Terrace, a couple of days ago, and I was asked about it, and my feelings were I could see what the club were trying to do. I could see why fans thought it was wrong, and I did think there would be a U-turn on it. What do you make of all this? Did you agree with it at the start? Did you understand it at the start? Did you think there would be a U-turn? Are you happy there's a U-turn?
Do you know what? Exactly as you've said there, Gav, I was of the whole opinion myself, agree totally, because I thought, I can see what they're trying to do. I could tell there was going to be a backlash, and I could tell there was going to be a climb down. And it's quite unusual, for a club to back down. Now, Liverpool are getting lashed out with still, just because they climbed down doesn't change the fact. Well, we don't know the situation. We don't know the ins and outs of everything that was happening. When I was looking at it, in my other life, I'm a trade union delegate in the energy sector. So I was looking at it. I was looking at this from a worker's point of view, right? And I was looking and saying, right, they're not laying off staff and they're looking for a way to keep the job retention, basically, but also top up the salary so they keep their 100%. And I thought, right, I think they're trying to be cute here, and I think it's going to blow up in their face. It did, but I think a lot of people, what I'm not worrying is so much about, but even when the statement came out to say they were climbing down, I felt that it wasn't all roses. It was, look, troubling times. We have to change the business, blah, blah. We realise we've made a mistake. We'll have to look at worst case scenarios and best case scenarios. I'm just hoping it doesn't come down to these people just get laid off. That's the fear I'd have. All for the sake of a few, social conscience and moral guardians looking to score points on social media, because that was what was doing my head in, was the amount of pontificating online. Now, look, people power and fan power is a very strong thing, and certainly when it comes to Liverpool and Liverpool supporters, when it comes to social justice, I think it's a huge part of the club that I don't think FSG realised when they bought the club, but they certainly realised over their tenure what it involves and what the social fabric of Liverpool as a city and a fan base is. And I just felt they absolutely shot themselves in the foot doing this by announcing it so early in the process. And so now I know there was the story that it was getting leaked, but how it wasn't kept more under wraps when you saw the abuse that Spurs were getting for doing after the Champions League run, record profits and all that. At Liverpool tried to sneak it in. I thought this isn't going to end well.
Yeah, like Spurs have done it. Newcastle, I think, have done it, but Newcastle are a basket case because your man refuses to close his shops because he feels that pairs of Lonsdales are essential for the world in this COVID-19. But you know, like Avo's asking me what day is it, Gav. Avo, I got the day right for once. He thought we were going to bring Super Sub in to do the work. Obviously, Fairclough, no, Furlough or Furlough, whatever way you want. Barry Carr says Norwich grass is up for as a revenge for all the Suarez carnage. Wasn't Norwich? I didn't know who it was. But, Paddy, you know, Keith makes a decent point there. You know, like, I don't think... The one thing I would say is they do understand the social fabric of Liverpool fans. They know what they're about. They've seen it. They know of Spirit of Shankly. They know the way when they tried to put ticket prices up, it went badly. And over the years, we've seen them make better and better and better decisions. And with Peter Moore being there, you'd feel that that's just another brain to use in all this when they're making these decisions. I could see both ways. I could see the club trying to save some money, but topping up to make sure they guarantee 100%. Would you be worried as well that, I don't think it'll happen now, where the club turn around, do a U-turn and then start laying off staff? I don't think that will happen. But would you be worried that, you know, staff could end up worse off than the agreement that was in place? Like, not laying them off, but saying to them, listen, you know, your match day staff, we can only pay you, you know,
for match days.
You know, they probably were only being paid for match days anyway. But saying we've no match day income now, so we're going to have to cut you, and this person will have to apply for this money anyway. Do you know that way? Would you be worried that Liverpool might do something different and harm the staff more, or do you think no, they've been kind of told here that won't be that won't be tolerated?
In my opinion, I think the club, well, obviously they made a mistake when they came out and said what they said and what they were going to do, and the U-turn is welcomed because of the amount of outrage that people had when they first heard it. Now, obviously, we don't live in Liverpool and we're not connected to the club financially, as we have a show and stuff based on it. But you can't. It's much more deeper than I think what people realise now outside of Liverpool, that what the club has in the city is much more deeper than just the club. There's a lot of livelihoods at stake around the ground, and definitely involved in and around the fan base. Like people are outraged and calling people to arms, saying, Peter Moore, you need to release a statement, and you need to do this and you need to do that. Like, let's be honest, like John W. Henry is probably sitting over in Boston and he's saying, right, we'll do this and we'll do that. Like, look at Richard Branson. Richard Branson's a billionaire and he's asking for the bailout as well, and you don't see people up in arms over what he's going to do, because he could start laying hundreds of people off as well, and it'll affect more of a broad range. I don't think that the club are going to do a U-turn again. Let's be honest, like the club does have a massive turnover of money and paid nearly 40 odd million last year to agents and stuff like that, and it has a 310 million wage bill and stuff like that. So in the long run, I don't know if it came out the figures. It's probably, what would they have to pay? It's probably $1 million a month or something to keep everybody ticking over. But when you look at some of the players' salaries, isn't a lot for so many people. But my only concern would be now is that people start turning on the owners and turning on what the good work that they've done in the years that they've been here, and hopefully it doesn't dirty the babe as such. But I think it'd take a lot more than that to dirty the babe, especially that they've done the U-turn and they've come out and they've said, right, we won't use it, the money be better off to other parts of the country, and we'll look after our own house. But again, the decisions that the club have made, the club, although they say like it's the club is a family and everybody wants the club to be together, it's still a business at the end of the day. And them lads that own the club, the Fenway Sports Group, they are businessmen at the end of the day, and they're obviously custodians of the club now, and they look after it and they're pointing us in the right direction. So let's hope they don't turn against the fans and the fans don't turn against them, and then it gets a bit petty, because there's only going to be one winner, and I don't think it'll be the fans, unfortunately. But again, saying that, as Keith said, like the power of the fan base is unbelievable, especially in a club like Liverpool. It's just one thing that we need to remember, is that it is a business at the end of the day, and these men do have a lot of money. And I think in hindsight, they probably look back and say,
we shouldn't have said that. We just should have paid our way and left it at that, you know?
Yeah.
Barry Carr says, Spirit of Shankly is like the A-team. If you have a problem and no one else can solve it, then you call the Spirit of Shankly. Barry, listen, I've no contacts with the Spirit of Shankly. I know one or two guys that are in the Spirit of Shankly. I know them because I've heard them on podcasts talking about Spirit of Shankly. But one thing I will say is they're a great asset to have as a fan base, in my opinion, right? For the simple reason is they are a voice that will stand up for fans if there is enough of a outcry. You know, Spirit of Shankly and all this came out and said they had written a letter to Liverpool explaining the decision to furlough or furlough. I'm just going to call it furlough, right?
Just call it a COVID. Yeah. Just call it a COVID.
Right, I'll just call it the furlough, right? But they did ask for an explanation. They said they were writing a letter, and that's no bad thing to have somebody there that the club know that they will have representation of the fans asking them what's going on. You know, I know for a fact Newcastle fans would love to have a version of Spirit of Shankly. I'm sure Blackpool would have loved to have a version of Spirit of Shankly when Oyston and his family were just dragging that club down, literally attaching weights to it and throwing it into the Irish Sea.
What about Spurs as well? Like Spurs going through this, are their fans happy to see?
Well, I don't know. Like someone else says there that Spurs done it and they haven't got as much as the backlash. Liverpool are a massive, one of the biggest clubs in the world. This is why. This is why you're getting it.
Because people were talking about Shankly and all, and what Shankly embodied and all, and Shankly was for the people and about the people and all, and like you just have to look at like who runs Spurs. Like Daniel Levy runs Spurs, and he's that mean he counts his money in the mirror in case he ripped himself off. Do you know what I mean? So you just like it's different strokes for different folks. Liverpool at the top level have made a mistake and have turned around and they've done a U-turn. Like Spurs won't do it. I don't think Spurs will do it because I'm telling you, like they've paid out a serious amount of money for that stadium. Jose is there now. Kane, I think I heard a few weeks ago, Kane was talking about if there's
but listen, Kane's been talking a lot, and he's I can't even listen to that man because he talks he just talks shy on a regular basis. Mind you, so do I, but he gets paid an awful lot more to do so. But the thing is, like Abo says there, he works for a massive company with a much bigger turnover than Liverpool, and 58% of their staff is being furloughed. What's the issue? It's not. Listen, it makes headlines. There's two issues to this. There's two parts to this. One, it makes headlines because it's Liverpool, because everyone fucking hates Liverpool. Let's be honest with it. If you're not a Liverpool fan, everyone fucking hates us. That's just the way it is. And, people go on about, everyone hated United in the 90s. Trust me, they hate fucking Liverpool more, right? And that's the truth.
And it's not only Liverpool, sorry for cutting across, not just Liverpool Football Club, it's Liverpool as a city and Scouse people in general that the UK hate. But this is more than a football club. This is a social society thing over there that's a huge... People think it's just, they hate Liverpool were successful. No, they hate Liverpool as a city over there.
But the thing is, like, and you're right. Look, it sells newspapers. It gets online clicks. It does all that, right? The second part of this is the Liverpool fan base to go, no, we feel this is wrong, and they speak out about it. Okay, and enough people spoke out about it. Now, I've spoken to Liverpool fans that have gone, it's disgraceful. I've spoken to others that went, look, if you actually look at it, they're basically they're ensuring that these people get paid. And I made the point on this show I was doing the other day that the word indefinitely is what got me in all these. We're extending seasons indefinitely. Now I know FIFA have done the same. I know UEFA have done the same. So this league will finish. It will finish on the pitch and it will finish on television. That I've never been more certain of that. And Liverpool will be crowned champions, right? And we'll all have a fucking great time. Grizz is asking, is that Pads on? It is. It's Paddy Lawson on Grizz, and you were offered the opportunity to come on with him, and you said no. So I just want to throw that out there. I want to just store the shit a little bit, and then you can try explain yourself. But there's two parts to this, and it's a perfect storm, isn't it? Like everyone in the media going absolutely rasher over this, and then you have Liverpool fans who, rightly or wrongly, have decided to express their concerns over it, and this is where we've got to. But look, the club going forward, the statement had said they're sorry for getting it so wrong. I think I have a little feeling they were trying to do the right thing to make sure they got they could just guarantee staff that they weren't, people paying mortgages weren't worrying, and you know, will I have my job in 2 months' time? They might have been going about it that way, but people would see it as, no, they're just trying to save money. Well, I'm not too sure, because
sorry, Gavin, I'll just say something there.
Of course you can, Paddy.
What people should be more worried about is not obviously the staff that are involved with the club, but what about the people around the ground, like the pubs and the bars and the chip shops and stuff like that? There's no, you don't see anyone coming out and talking about them. What are they going to get? Because let's be honest, the people around the ground rely more on the club than the people in the club. Like the people that work for Liverpool Football Club will be guaranteed that money, will be guaranteed a few quid. But what about the lads that own the bars and sell the scarves and do all that around the ground? Like that if you're gonna be that sentimental, that where the club for the people and the club for the area. What about the people around the area?
Just spot on, Paddy. Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? So how far does it run down? Like how far do we go? How far do we go out from the ground here? Like if you're in 5 miles of the stadium, we'll give you a few quid. That means we'll be throwing a few quid into everything. Do you know what I mean? You can do it.
Well, do you know what I was thinking as well, Keith? And I don't know if I'm just being I don't know if I'm drunk, because the cans are it's a fluid situation with the cans, right? But do you know what I thought? If I was a Liverpool fan, I am a Liverpool fan, but if I'm a Liverpool fan and I'm against what the club are doing there, I'd nearly be against the players giving the government so many % of their wages.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, Keith, is I'd be looking going, well, hold on. You want to
sort out the club.
You want no, but what I'm saying is, like, if you view this as, you know, the club trying to save a few quid, I'd nearly be against no, look, I'm not. If the players want to come out and give a donation, absolutely fine. But I'm not into this where they're being pressured to give some of their wages. You know, they're talking about 30% and stuff like that to basically fund fund the NHS.
It's scandalous.
Where do you stand on that? Because I feel that's an undue pressure on somebody that has a contract to do a job. They're doing it. They're being denied the chance to do it, but still a contract, and they have to be paid. For people to turn around and try pressure footballers into giving their money away.
It's scandalous. And a lot of the people pressuring them are in high positions, high paid positions. You know, Matt Hancock coming out. I know he was asked the question and he threw Premier League footballers under the bus, but he sort of doubled down on it again after that. You know, they're not calling for the top bankers to take pay cuts. They're not calling for the politicians that are earning a fortune.
Have MPs taken a wage cut?
I don't know. Do you know what I mean? If they have, they're not being named and shamed. Do you know what I mean? They're not being dragged out like footballers. I think a lot of people think Premier League footballers especially, they've loads of money and they think they're just going around spending it on cars and whatever else. A lot of them do a lot of charity work. They do a lot of helping their communities, helping around the clubs and all that. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the players are looking at this situation and want to do something. But the fact they're being forced into it with a set 30%, you know, like what's 30% of, let's say, Mo Salah, right? 30% of his wages. No one wants to give up 30%, but it's a big drop. But if you compare that to Caoimhín Kelleher, just thinking of someone down the lower end of the spectrum. No, maybe he's not a good example. Maybe he's only on youth. Curtis Jones, like 30% of there. I know they've got a lot of money, but you know, there has to be a bit of sense. I think Wayne Rooney came out with the most common sense statement of the whole thing. You know, and if he's the one that's the voice of reason, well then, I don't know why these politicians and brain trusts over in the UK can't come up with something, you know, that's a bit more in touch with the real world. Like this throwing Premier League footballers under the bus is ridiculous.
Well, hi, sorry, Keith, I'll just throw something at you there, right? So let's say you're Jordan Henderson, you're on 150 grand a week or whatever he's on, right? So Jordan Henderson
let's call it 100.
Right, he's on 100 grand a week, right? So he gets taxed by the week or by the month, and he pays 50% tax on top of that, right? And then people want to throw another 30% of his wages. Like, so he's getting taxed anyway, and then you want to throw another 30% on for a good gesture because he's on 100 grand a week. So what about the lads and the rock star or the likes of fucking, I don't know, singers live in London and fucking people that own hotels and all? Are they turning around and offering up? I know, like, actually Gary Neville took his hotel off the likes of TripAdvisor and stuff and whatever, and gave his hotel up for free for NHS staff, which is unbelievable. Like, and let's say the club offered like their medical staff to help out and stuff like that, that would probably be more beneficial than taking more money off more players. I'm not saying that players don't want to give the money. Like I know Henderson.
Yeah, but it should be a thing. Like Henderson has set up something, or he's trying to, where he can set something up, and that's just because, as I said, footballers are big profile in public life. That's just the way it is. They're probably bigger than MPs. Like Chris Brack says, CEOs, MPs are not being asked to drop wages. Barry Carr says Man City are being funded by the biggest of the Emirates in the UAE. No need for British government coin. Yeah, that's a fair point. Kevin O'Sullivan says UK MPs recently got a 15% increase this year. Chris says thought all this situation. Through all this situation, the Henderson charity, he said, why Premier captains for NHS has not been given enough positive press. Owen Burke feels that the Premier players should donate a portion of their wages to an NHS fund rather than take money out of the exchequer by taking a pay cut. That's what they should do. There shouldn't be a case of it should be a case of not. The number 10, 15, 20, 25 or 30% shouldn't be bandied around. Jordan Henderson should be going to the captains and saying, listen, if you put it this way, you have 20 Premier League clubs, right? They all have about 25 players in a squad, right? It's 500 players. So what we're all going to do is we're going to, by ratio, we're going to put $500,000 a week down, right? Yeah. It works out at $1,000 a week. It's $500,000 a week, right? Now, Jordan Henderson might put in 1,200, but like the likes of another fella might only put in 8 because of earnings to be done on ratio. Yeah. But it should be their decision as to what amount they do, right? And the funny thing is, if they make that donation and they send it, do you know they can claim it back against the tax?
No.
Right? So it's actually doing the government fucking no good.
Exactly.
Right? Unless they write it off, right? If Jordan Henderson was given $5,000 a week to the NHS, he would have to declare it, right? And if he declares, he can claim it back against the tax the following year. So the government would actually need to be giving it back to him. Right, so unless he says, no, I don't want it back and I don't want to claim against it. Politicians are just deflecting news from themselves as usual. The cretins, says Barry Devaney. Let me see.
If we can just say one more thing there as well. It came out that the executives at Liverpool have all took a 25% pay cut. Okay. The Peter Moore, all the Billy Hogan and all these guys, they've all taken a pay cut, and it wasn't being sort of put out there. They didn't want it being put out there because they didn't want it to put undue pressure on players feeling they'd have to take it. So a lot of the stuff that the club are doing, I think, and maybe I'm naive and maybe I'm wrong, I think they were trying to do it for the good of all the people. Do you know what I mean? And maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just think they get a lot of stick, and because they're an easy target, but. When you look into it, none of us know the ins and outs of it. We're all just speculating and assuming, but they're not all that bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, there's going to be some random questions that have come in. A few have popped up on the screen there, but if you have written them, remember them, and when I give you the shout, go and send them in to us. We love the random stuff. We have 2 lads that are brilliant at it. Keith and Paddy are just a bit mental, so it suits them. But a couple of things, bit of admin to get out of the way. YouTube, subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the notifications icon, all that messing, right? You can share it around wherever you want to. Twitter/Periscope, share it, follow us on Twitter, share the broadcast, do all that. You will see on screen the little Hot Mic emblem. Anyone that hasn't heard of Hot Mic, it's a new thing we're doing. We will vary the shows. Some will be on Hot Mic and YouTube, some will be on Periscope. Some will be on Hot Mic and YouTube. Some shows will be on, like tonight's, Periscope and YouTube. Please go on to Hot Mic. Everyone has a bleeding phone, right? Everyone has a touch phone, whatever the fuck, smartphone. Go on, type Hot Mic into, whether it's Apple Store or whether it's the Android Store, type in Hot Mic, download it. It will simply ask you for your email address and a password you would like to set up. And when you're prompted, it will ask you an invite code, hit LFCDT, and you would sign up and be immediately following us. You will get our shows on that. Not enough people have signed up for me. I know Keith's very upset over it. Paddy's just getting wind of this and will be upset. When Paddy's upset, the whole world is upset. When Paddy is upset, the world cries. So, listen, it's very simple. Just go on, get on your smartphone, download the app, and just sign up, and you'll get a notification when we're going live on that as well. It's really easy to watch on. It's a good interface. It's a really simple chat setup as well, and we're trying to grow that as we go. That's the end of that. I'm not going to say any more, but I will tell you, as I've always said, we are genuinely the world's biggest Liverpool podcast that is 100% free. It will always be free. There is not a big Liverpool podcast out there bigger than us that gives you everything for free. It's just not there. There's not many bigger than us in the first place, but it's just not there. We are the biggest, and we are the ones that give you everything, absolutely everything for free. Let me see. When do you reckon we'll be back playing, says Chris Prosser? June the 1st is my show. Keith?
Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard. I think they will be under pressure to get the games done. So yeah, I think June might be a good show.
Okay. Paddy, when will we be back playing?
I think the Bundesliga I've seen earlier on is trying to be back for the 2nd or 3rd of May. I don't see that happening.
Somewhere between the 2nd and 9th of May.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see they're very efficient over there, and I know it's a cliche, the German efficiency, but the testing and all they're doing, like, they're happy enough that they've, got on top of this and they're good to go. Whereas I think the UK, unfortunately, sort of fannied about at the start, for want of a better phrase, and maybe a few, many weeks behind. So
it's not that. Sorry, Keith, the likes of fucking Cheltenham and all, like, come on. Like, and then you have Mongos over here ordering gear from fucking China, and it's too small and all. Like, you couldn't, like, if there's aliens gonna invade this planet, they're gonna turn up and they're gonna land in Ireland, and they're gonna say, just leave this place alone. It's full of bleeding Mongos.
Yeah. I like, people are saying that John O reckons the football will be back in July. Owen Burke says FSG thought they were doing the right thing by paying the other 20% of wages. Billionaire mentality. They are billionaires for a reason. That's a fair point. John O says, sorry, just following up with that, he says no club gets battered more by everyone else than Liverpool. Don't care what anyone says. These people haven't been able to rip us on the field, so they're laying into us over this. Yeah, and the funny thing, John O, for me in all of this is having a big laugh, right, at coronavirus maybe stopping Liverpool win the title, and then when all the associations come out and say no, this is suspended indefinitely, we will start the 19-20 season and we will conclude it to a finish when it's safe to do so. Now they're all crying because this decision's being made, and why are we discussing this when there's COVID-19 in the world? They're arseholes basically, right? And don't be minding opposition fans. This is going to end with Liverpool lifting the title and games played. All Dave Lennon reckons all behind closed doors. I absolutely agree. Dylan O'Rourke asks, big question, lads. You're in the chipper. What sauce do you get? It's gravy for him. He knows that's controversial, but he's going with gravy. Paddy, where are you going? What sauce are you going for?
Depends on what you get, Gaff.
Right, so I'm going to tell you, you're going in and you're going to be getting chips, a quarter pounder, and a portion of chicken goujons, whatever the fuck they're called, strips.
Oh, there'll be two sauces then. There'll be a curry sauce and a taco sauce.
A curry and a taco.
Yeah, strategic.
Okay, no worries. Keith, what are you going for?
Yeah, curry, I think. I love, like, fish and chips with curry. Bit of a weirdo like that, curry with the fish. But yeah, curry.
The garlic sauce is the one for me.
I love garlic sauce, but I find it can be hit and miss in some places.
Well, the chipper by me, I love getting. I'd say they hate me because when I ring up, my wife only wants a burger with this, and this on it. I like kebabs with no veg, just garlic sauce, chili sauce, and cheese. My daughter likes a burger with nothing on it, just fucking nothing on it. Just put the burger in a bun and send it up to me. But I love the chips or battered sausages with garlic sauce. I think it's amazing.
No, battered sausage and curry sauce, sorry.
No, garlic sauce won't get it into you. Hopefully when it does get going, fans will be allowed in, but can't see that happening, says Owen Book. I can't either. I think they will get this finished, and then we'll look to start next season. And I think this is key. They'll look to start next season at a date where they will get fans into the stadium, because TV companies will put up with this season being finished, but they will want next season starting with fans in stadiums, because believe it or not, try watch a game with nobody in the stadium, and it's even at home, it's extremely fucking disorientating. Is that
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's unreal.
I watched
never
Juventus
watched
against
them.
Juventus against Inter. I think was one of the last games in Serie A
Yeah.
before
It's
they locked
yeah.
it down, and I got about 20 minutes in, and I felt like I was nearly dizzy watching it because I was like, what? Why am I? There's nothing. You can't
You're
focus
hearing
on what's
the
going on.
players
Yeah.
talking and
Yeah.
all, like it's fucking ridiculous.
It's mad. Kevin O'Sullivan says curry or tartar sauce. He's obviously gone for the fish and chips, I'd say. And he also says players will need a 2-week mini pre-season to get back into shape, and it'll all depend how hospitals are coping over the next few months. They're under pressure, and the for the wheels to turn in the world and industry, they're under massive pressure.
Yeah.
Avo has hot curry or sweet curry sauce. Megan says after all this over this league win, will be a lot more sweet. Our rivals fan will hate us even more. Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah.
Dylan O'Rourke says, would you rather look 10 years old from the neck up or the neck down?
Look.
10 would you rather look 10 years old from the neck up or the neck down?
So you're having a man's body with a
10-year-old's head, or
I had a big mutton head when I was 10 actually, yeah, so I might be alright.
I'll take I that's a fucking desperate question.
That's a shocker one.
Yeah, Paddy, what are you going for?
I look about 50 now, and I'm only 33, so I'm gonna go for the young head and the old body.
Okay.
Yeah, same as myself.
Oh no, I think I'll do the same. Cause imagine me walking around with 10-year-old body. That's mad. Especially when I need
Smoking and drinking
I
cans.
swear to God, yeah. And the absolute like need for a haircut is unfucking believable at the moment. Opinion on Dana White's fight Ireland. I read a little bit about this. But am I right in saying that Khabib was meant to be fighting Ferguson?
Yeah.
And has Khabib just decided he's not having her anymore?
Yeah, he's not having
Yeah, man,
that.
Khabib was in Dubai in a training camp, and then word like it was coming out that the corona was getting serious, so he just jumped on a jet and flew back to Russia or wherever, Dagestan or wherever he's from, and was like, I'm not coming back out.
Yeah. He's Welsh on that bit, hasn't he? Jono says, true Geordie's monologue on opposition fans laughing at Liverpool, maybe not winning the Premier League because of coronavirus was brilliant and 100% on the money.
Yeah.
That is, that's probably the video to play, and it's.
Well, you actually listened to that. Sorry, I listened to that podcast. It's very good about like what they can do. Set up like it'd be like all the games you based in the Midlands and stuff like that around Manchester, because you've Everton's ground, Liverpool's, Man City's and Man United's grounds in close proximity, and big hotels, and it'd be in like a training camp where only the players are there and staff and all. Do you know what I mean? It's actually very good.
Yeah. No, in fairness, it was a top class video. In fairness to him. Let me see. Chris Back asks, and this is a question for everyone, not only the 3 people on the show, but everybody, right? Because some of you people will know some of the trippers, some of you will not, just have an idea of what they are from listening to them on microphones and watching them on screen. But the question is, you swap lives with one of the Daytrippers for a week. Who do you swap with? Paddy Lawson, who are you swapping with?
It's one of 2 people.
Right. Now, just to let you know, if you're going to pick Phil Casey, you have to take all of the Phils.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sorry, I said 1 or 2 people, but it's between 1 and 8. I'd probably have to go for Steve Daly.
Right.
Because of that hair. I'd just love to have that hair for a week. I'd just walk around combing it every 5 fucking seconds.
Okay. Or you had another one in mind. Did you think Phil?
Oh, it was Phil, but I'd like to be Davro. I'd like to be a postman for a week just for listening to the podcast.
Shane Davron.
Yeah, what a hero. What a man.
He is beautiful.
Solid
as well.
weird game, alright.
Oh man, he just floats around the living post listening to the podcast. The best job ever.
Yeah, he does, and he's deceptively good looking.
Oh,
and he downplays it all the time.
He's a solid 9.
And he's a former plasterer as well.
Multi-talented.
So Avo will go for him. It's not Keith's cleaner, Avo. It's Andy Young's cleaner. Who has the mad what was it?
Mop slippers.
Moppy slipper things, wasn't it? Or something you call them.
Andy has all the home help.
So basically, Paddy, what happened was we were talking about cleaning the house, having a cleaner, because Andy's full of notions, right? Because he's notions,
in the
right?
pantry,
and he goes to evoke it and all these notions, right? So basically, he was talking about, and he went, I was asking me cleaner how she gets the tiles on my kitchen floor so clean, and she said something about slippers, and I said, what? Slippers? Like what? And he suggests she walks around in these special slippers after she does the floor to buff them and get them to clean it out, and he watermarks. So he just called them special moppy slippers. That's what they're called. Special moppy slippers. Owen Burke would be filled to stop him giving out so much. There's so many Phils though. There's a range of Phils. You don't want to be in Phil's life for. Give us a look at it for 24 hours flying the wall, but then you'd be out of there. You'd be like, no, this is too much for me. He's absolutely mad, Phyllis.
No, we love Phil, but he
is insane.
He's just Phil.
The cleaner chat was one of the funniest ever, says Dylan O'Rourke. Listen, when you get Andy talking about anything, because he is notions, it's mental. Like, you know, he looks down at people that doesn't have a Bosch dishwasher. That's how bad it is. Like, he really does. It's mad, like, you know. Like, I love him. I just love everything about the man. Keith, who are you swapping with?
Grizz
Can.
because he's like a celebrity. You know what I mean? I'll never have that celebrity lifestyle. So I think if I could walk a mile in Grizz Can shoes, I think that set me up.
Yeah. Grizz is not a bad show.
What about you?
Who would I pick?
You. Actually, Gav, I'd like to be you for a week.
You wouldn't like to be me. Fuck that.
Why not?
Nah,
going around playing golf and drinking cans and smoking.
That's fair enough.
It actually sounds alright.
It's not bad, It's not bad. I'd let just be me for a week, just once don't affect me golf handicap. I don't want to come back and look like an absolute spasmo.
We played golf for a hurdle, Gavin.
I played it once and ended up my arms were killing me. I was bleeding, drilling the ground, took lumps up out of the course.
Dylan says, the missus says they're called buff things, says they're amazing.
Buff things.
Dylan just keeps referring to the missus. What's her name? You can say, because then when you say like, Sandra says, lady. Well, if he says Sandra says it's this, we just know our resident Sandra is Dylan's girlfriend, Sandra. I don't know if her name is Sandra. It's probably not. Keith, you would definitely need to up your context to be Grizz, says Chris Brack. That's a very fair point. Get Grizz's transfer contacts if you swap with them, says Owen Book. Oh, they're under extreme lock and key.
Area 51 if anyone's looking for them.
I think if I Shawnee, you can't look past Shawnee. Oh, yeah. Neve is her name. So our resident Neve is Dylan's girlfriend is our resident Neve that just lets us know what stuff is called.
Yeah, like, say Neve.
Yeah, just like moppy things. Yeah, that absolutely covers it. She's commonly known as Frank though, which is cool. So we call her Neve or Frank. So when we reference Neve or Frank from now on, it's Dylan's better half.
Neve or Frank.
I think it's hard to look past Shawnee.
Yeah.
Spanish
board, lives in town, has a good job,
lives in
town,
great looking, great shoulders.
Serious at FIFA.
Serious at FIFA. He's the full package. Shawnee is to go absolutely off the wall. Neil Gray. If you're a Nilo for a week, I'd say you
wouldn't make it.
You just wouldn't make it. You know what I mean? When you get the contract to be Nilo for a week, you expect it to last 4 to 5 days max, and that's the end. But yeah, that's it. Somebody asked me on Twitter earlier as well. The Masters was meant to be on a course around this time, and it's not. But it has been rescheduled. The 3 majors in golf have been rescheduled for later on in the year. The Open, I know, has been cancelled. I don't know if they're going to move that. I highly doubt it. They'll probably cancel for the year. The British Open, of course. But somebody asked me on Twitter and said, with this meant to be on at the moment, Tiger Woods won it last year. Does that go down as the greatest sporting comeback you've ever seen? Of course, Tiger Woods will go down as the best golfer probably that's this generation's seen anyway. He hasn't eclipsed Jack Nicklaus for the amount of majors he's won, but the way he's played golf over the last 20 odd years, a little bit more, has been nothing short of sensational. Although he has had massive back problems, and he did come back and win the Masters last year. So, is it the best sporting comeback you've seen, Tiger Woods coming back and winning another major last year? Or Keith, is there any other sporting comebacks you can think of where you went, Jays, that's unbelievable, and it would better Tiger Woods?
Not really better than Tiger. I mean, Tiger Woods is the ultimate one, isn't it? Like, because he was so good, and I used to hate the bastard. You know, with any sports, like elite sportsmen like that, when they're constantly winning, you sort of root for them not to lose, but for someone else to come on and have a slice of it. And then he fell off a cliff, and to come back, you know, it's hard to. I'm trying to think, was there any?
Well, you see, to go from such a height he was on,
Exactly.
And then to drop down, and it was sad to watch him. Like I don't really relate to Tiger Woods as a person, because when I watch him, he kind of annoys me a bit. But what he done in the game of golf, he was at the pinnacle for so long, and then he had a massive drop where he went completely, like it wasn't even being spoken of because of the injuries he had and personal issues as well. But to come back like that through injury and everything else that happened to him, it's massive. I think it's hard to look beyond it, isn't it?
John Travolta.
Not a bad show. Not
exactly sportsman, but
is it sport or in every way?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. Like, if Mary fucking used to go to shops and then couldn't because she was paralysed, and then got up there one day and walked to the shop, I suppose that's a massive comeback. So you could put her up there on Tiger Woods. I don't know. But listen, have a little think about it. We might come back to it towards the end of the show. We've about 10 minutes left. Somebody asked the top 5 or your maddest Liverpool game under Klopp that you've seen.
The maddest Liverpool game.
Yeah, the 5-4 away to Norwich is the show straight off the patch. Yeah. Straight off the bat.
The Dortmund game was a mad.
Dortmund,
yeah.
4-3 Palace, Saison, Book.
Barca game.
Yeah.
Has to be. That was something was glitching in the Matrix or something that night. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like, even if you look
at that Barca game, the beauty of that, I found, like, obviously you had Spurs and Ajax was on the next night, and they were trying to compare them as being some way comparable, but they weren't, because we were on such a tightrope with the away goal against Messi and Suarez and all. Like, the fact that we went and done that, it was just, it's hard to eclipse that, but that was just sort of a night of domination, really, wasn't it?
I think it was just the manner of how we done it. And just the
flow
that made that night, like Origi, Gini, Trent, the corner,
Shaqiri and all had a good game that night. Like, there was a...
Yeah, it was phenomenal. But it's gas. Like, I've asked you that, and there's been like 4 or 5 straight away. People are mentioning 4 or 5 games. There has been some great ones. Topical time of the year. Jesus Christ, he made some great comebacks. He did. Jesus Christ made a deadly one.
Yeah.
He did, and out of it all, we got the Easter Bunny, which is a fucking massive bonus. So, you know what I mean? You can't argue with it. Arsenal in the Cup was wild. Started the game saying couldn't be bothered. 30 minutes in, was doing knee slides in my sitting room, says Dylan. I was very similar as well. Laughing my head off when it started. 3-1 down at top. I hope they don't get bashed, and then like bet into it then from there on in. My daughter was sitting beside me, and she was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "League Cup, doesn't even matter." She was like, "You're getting very upset." And I was like, "Shut up."
Roy Keane coming back after Saipan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good show.
I went to his first game against Bulgaria when he came back. Him and Stilly and Petrov are playing against each other. It was in the old Crow Park. I was able to get me junior results that night, and instead of going into town on the rip, I got 2 tickets for that match, and I went.
The junior set results?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That long ago? Jesus, fair play.
Yeah.
Megan says nothing beats the Barca game. I don't think it does. Lads, you know the way this is all this messing's going on. Every day there's a conversation around what are you doing to pass the time and stuff like that. What are you doing to pass the time, Keith?
It's hard, like, because I'm working during the day, so that's fine. But I tried to get out. Like today, I was out for about an hour and a half with the Anfield playing football. We live in the city centre, there's no grass here. I'm looking for a bit of concrete to kick a ball about. And that's it, other than that, then it's arsing about the house, seeing is there anything you can do. Is that it's a bit of a pain, you know what I mean? See, I live in an apartment, so it's not like we have pantries or moppy slippers in here, you know what I mean? Like, it's small space.
Yeah, but don't go on as if it's tenement. It's not tenement.
It's not tenement, no, it's not. Okay. But, there is a lot of us in here now, and the fact that...
What you mean there's a lot of us in here? Who's in the place?
5 of us, like, but...
5 of you? You're going on there, there's about 40 people in there.
Yeah, it's hard.
Dylan started a Marvel cinema campaign last night. 1 Marvel film per night. That's not bad, although I wouldn't watch it. Let me see. Avo says all his solid chocolate Easter eggs in the pantry are going to go to waste. No matches to go to throw at the opposition players. Yeah, but Jesus, they are going to go to waste. That was a great conversation we had that night.
That was a mad scene.
Yeah. What are you doing, Paddy? Other than waiting for the birth of your child, what are you doing?
I've been out. I'm in work still. I'm still working at home, just trying. We're getting quieter by the day, but still doing bits of work. I'm out doing a bit of walking. I'm trying to get back running. As you know, I had an Achilles operation back in October, so I'm just basically getting back up and running at the moment. So I'm doing a lot of walking, a little bit of jogging, trying to shift a few pounds. But other than that, just tipping away, doing bits and pieces around the gaff, just nothing mad like. But actually, I have a show for you. If I know everyone's gonna have it, people might kick off now, but we want a program to watch that you think is for women only. Start watching Grey's Anatomy, lads. Tell you, change your life.
Deadly.
Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy. I'm telling you, get keto. It's unbelievable. Telling you, very, very good on Amazon. Very, very good.
All right. I was gonna say.
All right, fuck off, Paddy.
No. My wife watches it. I've seen a few episodes of it. We'd have to ask Niamh for her thoughts on that. So if Dylan is still watching, get Niamh. Niamh should be our correspondent for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where we go, get Niamh onto the case here. What's the crack on Grey's Anatomy?
Sorry.
Rate of one Niamh, 2 Niamh, 3 Niamh, 4 Niamhs, or 5 Niamhs. As how good it is. Sorry, Paddy, you want to say something else?
Did you watch that thing, The Tiger King? It's on every.
I haven't watched it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Is he riding tigers or what's he doing?
I'll tell you what it is, right? If you imagine a hillbilly fella who's on meth and he has about 200 tigers, lions, jaguars, the whole lot, and he has two husbands.
What?
Yes, what now?
I swear to God, he has 2 husbands. He's married to 2 blokes.
Right.
And his rival just hear this, right? His rival is a bird who lives not too far away, and she has her own animal reserve as well.
Right.
And she has millions because her husband went missing years ago.
Of course he did.
And they reckon she fed him to a fucking tiger.
Of course he did. But just stop. Like, the only thing better than feeding it to tigers is feeding it to pigs.
It's mental.
Sadio Mane's documentary is going live tomorrow, which looks special, says Chris Brack. Where's it going live? Is it going live on Amazon? I'm not too sure. Dylan O'Rourke says 0 Niamhs. It's not worth my time. Oh Jesus, she's harsh. Niamh is very hard to impress. Grey's Anatomy has just got absolutely slammed there. What's Niamh? I wonder what Niamh's take is on the Tiger King. The Tiger King is wild. Every episode just gets wilder as it goes along, says Chris. Owen Book says we've had to stay 2 meters away from tigers now after the tiger tested positive in the zoo. What?
Yeah, New York or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tiger tested positive.
Owen Book is saying there. Okay. So a tiger did test positive for the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So Owen is just saying if you happen to be randomly near the tiger, just stay away.
Sorry. Yeah. There's a part of that tiger program, right, where there's a woman feeding this tiger, and it rips her arm off. You know what I mean, like clean.
Yeah. And
the film crew was there, and your woman gets her arm sewn up. Not now. It doesn't get the arm sewn back on because the tiger's in the cage munching on it. But she's back in work about 3 days later.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, she wasn't furloughed, so I can tell you that.
It's just a flesh wound. Like.
Megan McCallion says Grey's Anatomy is amazing. One of the best shows in telly. New series started last Wednesday, Paddy. Paddy's all over it when he's on the open.
It's unreal.
Let me see. Rakuten TV, apparently it's free to watch documentary. That's with regards to Sadio Mane. 4 Niamhs for Tiger King. 4 Niamhs being 4 out of 5. It's fucked up, and she's 1 episode in. So more to follow from Niamh with regards to that. So Niamh is now our correspondent for when you need it. Just a
yes, Niamh.
Just, I suppose, an independent opinion on something, because Dylan is clearly just he just keeps saying good morning to everyone. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. So, which is fair enough. We're all a bit all over the place. So programs to watch. I'm watching the one, of course, on Amazon Prime called Bosch, which is deadly. It's the business. I'm 4 series in. I think there's 5 series, and the 6th is due out. But one called Bosch. Keith, could you recommend anything to watch other than the Tiger King?
I'm only watching at the moment is Better Call Saul. I never really
watched. What a show, yeah.
Because I sort of got a bit pissed off in Breaking Bad. So towards the end of it now, I finished and I watched the movie and all. But I only started on Better Call Saul and I'm dug into that. It's very good. I've only the 4th season done. But that's what I'm trying to get through. As Paddy said, you're just looking for stuff to watch, you know what I mean? So there'll be loads of stuff getting hoovered up now over the next few weeks.
Dan Thomas says Money Heist is class. Is that the one It's dubbed.
Yeah, it's dubbed. Yeah, it's
Grizz never shuts up
in
about
English.
it. Grizz never shuts up about it. Stranger and Safe are really good on Netflix, says Chris, plus Friday Night Dinner is funny. Owen Walk says Sunderland Till I Die is a good watch. Ozark is lethal, just finished season 3, says Barry Devaney. Barry, I was watching that, right, and I nearly sure I got through the 4 series, and the second series, basically, without spoiling it, a really important person relating to the guy that went to live in the Ozarks turns up and has his head completely taken off. It was about a half an hour later by a mad Elvin, and I can't remember where in the series it was. So Barry, if you want to let me know when around that was it just the start of the second series? Because I am going to take it back up because loads of people have said it's deadly.
Brilliant.
Did you watch that one about Leeds on the Leeds documentary?
No.
It's actually very good. Very, very, very good, I have to say.
Okay.
It's on Amazon. Your man Bielsa is the manager of Leeds, and he basically he's a lunatic. He's actually, but it's very, very good. But it goes into signing now. Remember Daniel James was playing for Swansea.
Yeah.
He goes to
they tried to sign him, didn't they?
No, in the documentary, it shows you that he's there. Everything is signed. He's doing his photographs with the fucking kit and all. And they're just waiting for a bit of paperwork to come over from Swansea, to sort out, money's agreed, money's, getting transferred, the whole lot. And at about 5 to 12, his agent just turns around and says, it's not happening. And he walk out the door.
Yeah.
It's, it gives you an insight to what actually happens. Mad.
Megan says she's rewatching Sons of Anarchy on Netflix. Would recommend that. The fella that's in Bosch, the fella that's the main guy in Bosch, that I spoke about, is actually in Sons of Anarchy. I think he might be Mickey O'Phelan or something like that is his bleeding name in it.
Jack Tanner.
Yeah, so Owen Burke says he's rewatching Curb Your Enthusiasm at the moment. People are getting through loads of stuff that they used to watch. I'm mixing up my time between doing these shows, watching that Bosch, playing golf on the Xbox, and playing Football Manager 2018. I'm currently, just for people that want to know, and there's loads out there I know, I was with NEC in Holland. I won the Jupiter League to get into the Eredivisie. Is that what it's called? The Eredivisie? Something like that? Yeah, I got in there. I'm 5 games in. I've won all 5. I've no money, but I don't know how I'm doing it, but I am. So there you go. Biggest bullet, last question, right? Biggest bullet dodged by Liverpool in terms of signings, says Chris Brack. Like Lee Bowyer, he says. Any signings out there that you went, thank fuck we didn't do that?
What was your man we were going to sign for Alonso? Sign for fucking City. Stewart, no.
Gareth Barry.
Okay.
Yeah.
A BBS, big bag of shite.
Okay. Keith, any for you?
Well, there's been a stack of them over the last few years, hasn't there? Like Conor Plianka and Alex Teixeira. I think that Alex Teixeira probably, because he just fucked off to China and done nothing. Like Conor Plianka went and, done stuff in Germany and Sevilla and that sort of arsed about Europe. But man, Alex Teixeira, we was scabby for him at the time and didn't happen, and everyone was up in arms, as football Twitter does tend to be. And he's just fallen off a cliff somewhere. I haven't heard from him since.
I'm going to give you the right answer.
What?
Henrik Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, that was another one, wasn't it?
He was one that we were linked with all the time, and we were absolutely creaming ourselves over. Yeah. And he arrived at, was it United? Yeah, he was dirt. He went to Arsenal.
And Sanchez. Sorry, Sanchez is worse.
Sanchez would have been grand. Sanchez would have been grand with us, but he was good at Arsenal. But Mkhitaryan was mad, and then he's in Rome. I think he's on loan at Rome now. Just a waste.
He is, yeah. Mkhitaryan was excellent at Dortmund, and then went to United, and they didn't play remotely the same. Like, didn't play to his style at all. One of them weird transfers.
Owen Bucks says Ian Eyre is still in Ukraine trying to sign Conor Plianka. Thomas Lemar is right up there. I think Thomas Lemar is a good player. I think he picked the wrong club to go to. I think he's decent. Kevin O'Sullivan says Arda Turan. There's plenty of names there. There's absolutely plenty of names. Right, what are we doing for the rest of the week? Today is Tuesday. We are on Friday. We're definitely going to do one of the love-hate shows where we pick 3 Liverpool players and we decide, ex-Liverpool players, and we decide if we like them or hate them, and we talk about their arrival at the club, the influence they had, their best moments, their departures and stuff like that. Spoiler, Michael Owen will be on this one this week. I demand it. what else? We might try throw something in on Thursday or Saturday. We'll see how we get on. If anything pops up that's worth chatting about, we absolutely will. Just to remind you again before you go, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Pods, downloads, wherever you can find us, go and find us. The hot mic thing is the big thing at the moment. Like I said, download the app, put in your email and password, hit LFCDT as the invite code. You'll find it on our Twitter anyway. Hit that, go in, and you can find the app. And as soon as we go live anywhere, or we're about to go live, you will get a notification. It's a really, really simple interface to use, and it's really, really good. And more of our shows are going to turn up there, as well as YouTube and Periscope. Dylan O'Rourke wants us to talk about Bellamy and Owen in this love. Hey, Chris Brack wants Nick Barnby. Chris Brack will probably be on the show on Friday night. I know he's available, so we'll have Chris on with Keith, and we'll discuss them three. Emil Heskey says own book. There's loads of names we can pop in. So listen, all we're asking is, especially during this time, content is hard because there's no actual football going on, and fucking Man United fans aren't fucking crying because we're going to win the league. So it's hard to find stuff. So like I said, across all the social platforms, follow us, share our material. Discord, you can go onto Discord and set up yourself an account, get in there and have your say and cause murder if you want. It doesn't bother us. And, anything you want to do, anywhere you can find us, just hook yourself up with the Daytrippers on as many social platforms as you can, and it means you won't miss an absolute thing. But of course, it gives you the chance to have your input on what we should talk about. The lads in Discord generally put in some great stuff. I have got a note, and we are going to use it as the weeks go on. It's been a great show. It's just been about an hour. It's been really, really good. Paddy, a gent as always. If we don't speak to you before the baby comes, the best of luck with it, my man.
Thank you.
100%.
No
well
problem.
Said.
And Keith, I will talk to you soon. I will talk to you on Friday, definitely, but we might squeeze something in before then, yeah?
Yeah, no bother.
Okay, good stuff. Friday show, of course, will be on Hot Mic and YouTube, just to let you know, okay? That's been the FB4 Daily. Thanks a million for joining us. As always, you've been great. The comments have been excellent. The input's been great. We've taken on another employee today. Well, people are letting people go. We're taking people on. Niamh is the latest member of the Trippers. And if you need an independent opinion on anything, she will give you no Niamhs up to a 5 Niamhs, depending on what you put towards her. That's it. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.